Good morning. Today we are going to look into the Joint Development Agreement. So before we understand that or go in deep into it, let's understand what a Joint Development Agreement is. So to understand this JDA in short, we would say that let's start with the story. So let's say Mr. X, who was inherited and now owns 5 acres of land in the let's say Bridgewasan area of New Delhi. He is looking for avenues to earn revenue from it. He may lease it out or he may use it for the commercial property. Another land to appreciate and hold it for a good amount of time. Yet, another alternative is to get a building constructed, residential or commercial, and sell or rent out the units. But for that, Mr. X will not only have to arrange the additional finance required for the construction, but he will also have to get the approvals and look after the construction activities. Now, he may not have like the requisite expertise, time, and money to contemplate the construction. Now, on the other hand, there is Mr. Y, who is a developer of good repute and has the requisite fund, skills, and knowledge to undertake construction activity. He might have to, block his funds to purchase the piece of land in the place because purchasing the land contributes a large part of the total investment. Now, as a result, he might fall short of the funds required for the construction of the activity. Now, Mr. X, the landowner, and Mr. Y, the developer, can enter into an agreement in which Mr. X contributes the land and Mr. Y undertakes the development and the construction of the new buildings and the projects at his cost. Now, such an agreement is termed as JDA, Joint Development Agreement, and it is beneficial to both owner of the land and the developer. Now, the JDA resembles the barter system, we could say, that was prevalent in the ancient times, long before the concept of money was around. Now, there are two models of JDA. Now, the first one is area sharing JDA. Now, example which we took here, the developer Mr. Y enters into a JDA with the landowner Mr. X, wherein, as per the agreement, a total of 100 residential units will be constructed by Mr. Y on the land provided by Mr. X. Now, in this agreement, 40% of the units, that is 40 units, shall be given to Mr. X and the rest 60 units shall be taken by Mr. Y. Both the parties can commercially sell the units in the open market, and the landowner gets 40 units of flats in a place of the land given, and the developer gets 60 units first in the place of work done. Now, the second one is revenue sharing JDA. Now, that is again the example, developer Mr. Y enters into an agreement with the landowner Mr. X, wherein the total of 100 residential units will be constructed by Mr. Y on the land provided by Mr. X. Now, in the revenue sharing JDA model, the revenue occurring from the sale of the plotted land is divided between X and Mr. Y, that is the developer and the landowner, in the agreed ratio, let's say 75 to 25%. Now, let's look into the advantages of JDA. Now, because it is a barter system, it is very helpful. The developer does not have to incur any initial investment for the procurement of the land. Partial avoidance of the payment of the stamp duty is there. JDA results in the speedy development of the property as the working capital requirement is restricted towards approval and construction. The landlord reaps a competent consideration and lucrative offer in this agreement, and a secure loan can be obtained. I hope you understood what JDA is and what are the different types, two types of JDA, and also the advantages of it. Thank you so much.